Okay, so what's up, guys? I didn't really have this video planned. However, due to some of the generated interest and questions about my relocation bracket for my dash, and due to the lack of the detail I put in that video, I decided to make this impromptu and kind of just give a little more detail and answer questions. So yeah, getting into the bracket. Just wanted to kind of show some closer angles of it, showing some of the bends I had to put in it, and just the finish, how it turned out. There's that hole I was talking about. That was just in the stock metal already that I used to make this bracket, and I didn't feel like welding it up, filling it in, grinding it smooth, and trying to feather all the grinds and make it look good. And it doesn't really, it doesn't bother me, so I left it in there. Yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. Looks pretty good. Kind of an ugly part that I don't really like. I put some spacers in between the bracket and the dash mount bracket, the stock one, in an effort to kind of bring the dash out more and address a crowding issue I had with the key switch, which we're going to get into, which is what a lot of people want to know about, including Jake the Garden Snake. He left a comment on my video. If you guys don't know, he has an FZ07 now. He's doing a bunch of modifications on. It's pretty cool. So he was wondering about the key switch, which we're going to get into in a second. These spacers are the little plastic inserts. If you've, on the American turn signals, if you guys have taken off the stock ones, the big donkey ear, floppy rubbery it's late. I gotta go to bed. If you've taken off the stock ones, you probably know this little plastic piece. I actually took mine and glued them in here to mount these cheap Chinese LED turn signals. I just took those instead of buying. There's a little plastic adapter kit that you can buy on Amazon or whatever for a few bucks, and then wait for it in the mail and all that. I didn't want to do that, so I just took those plastic pieces and super glued them in. Shot it with some black spray paint, and a presto, like Biker Bibbs said. Wow, I need some sleep. But yeah, that's what those are. All right, let's move. This is what everybody wants to see, is from the rider's perspective, the angle of the dangle of the dash. And yeah. One other thing I left out, kind of where the video got interrupted in my last video, the part of the video that got interrupted in the last video, I was, God damn it, I was putting these, what are they called, risers on. I need to go to bed. I should just start this over. I don't make sense. Words come out of me. The risers, I was in the middle of putting them on. I ended up using different risers than what you guys saw me wanting to use. I was going to use the ones off the Chinese dirt bike, but I ended up using the ones off the Suzuki Dual Sport because the mounting bolt was the right size for these triple trees. The other ones weren't. As I mentioned, Jake Garden Snake is modifying his bike. He just put new handlebars on and modified his risers so that it took some of the dough feeling out of the handlebars, the stock handlebars, because of the rubber isolators in here. It makes, it allows the handlebars a lot of flex. So he used a couple wide washers to kind of bypass that on his, whereas these have broad shoulders. Actually, I can't remember if he did that on top or on the bottom where he put the washers, but with these lower bars on here, you couldn't really detect it anyways. But with the broader shoulders on these risers, it definitely locks these in pretty good. So as you can see, the dash, because of the unfortunate way that they mounted the key switch where I relocated the dash now, it really crowds that area to get a key in there. And even with the spacers I put in on the front, I still had to, luckily this is rubber mounted, so I had to pull this up out of the way to get the key in, and then to turn the switch to on, I had to pull it up again. And then when I released it, it was kind of resting on the key, and it just wasn't good. So what I did, and I'll try not to show my keys because apparently you're not supposed to do that because people can copy them and steal your bike, and then, yeah, so I don't know if that's true or not, but you can kind of see the key looks like a sword now, at least the blade part, because I popped off the handle part. And I'll show you that in a second, but there's Batman. Batman approves. I approve because I'm Batman. I need to go to bed. So now I have plenty of room, and I can try to do this while holding the camera and looking through it. But yeah, it pushes down in there fine, turns on fine. Yeah. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to blind you. He's got lights in his feet. I got this for Christmas. It's awesome. I love it. Because I love Batman. So anyways, I don't know if you noticed on there, there's like some scratches. Get rid of here. On both sides, right down at the base. Bling. Oh, that's bright. And that's because this is, dang it, I'm screwing this video all up. This is the original handle plastic part that I just popped off. It was actually pretty easy. I didn't even have to take the key off the key ring. I just put it on the table, up against the table, and because of those scratches, I used this scribe awl little guy and just pounded it down on either side of the key, between the key and the plastic, and it just cracked it open. And then just turn it over and do the same on the other side, and then it just falls off in these two pieces. Done. All right, I gotta go to bed. I'm gonna wrap this video up. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks to, I think his name is Joe Gray, for pointing out my garage spring is broken. I don't know if that's in frame or not at all, but thank you. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, good night.